Hello and welcome everyone. Our project is called Spinfinity Slots and it is a slot machine interface made entirely with HTML and CSS, and we tried our best, or in fact we used no JavaScript at all. The goal was to explore how far CSS motion and interactivity can go by itself. My name is Saqib Ahmed. I was a designer for this project and I worked on the slot skeleton and designed the website.
My name is Steven. I was the programmer and coder. I worked on the implementation of the codes and improvement both visually and functionality of the project.
And my name is Vincent. I was the tester for this project. I also worked on the win conditions for the slot machine, and I just made sure everything was running properly.
All right, perfect. Let's move on to the next slide. So yeah, when we did our project, we used a Kanban methodology. How we used Kanban? We organized our projects using a Trello Kanban board. We created to-do lists and updated them based on the progress. We had in progress, review, and done uh, parts of the methodology. We also had cards which represented a specific or small task like add real animations, test themes, and toggle animation portions. As we progressed, cards moved across the board, giving everyone a live view of status and deadlines. This helped everyone know what needed to be done and who was responsible for what portion. This method also helped us maintain time better as tasks were smaller and broken down into realistic patterns. This also helped us track progresses. All right, so our goal for Spinfinity Slots. Our goal for Spinfinity Slots was to build an interactive slot machine UI. This project was built entirely on HTML and CSS. No JavaScript was included in this project. Yep, as I mentioned previously. So the core features, all right, implemented add keyframes for the real spin, use animation delay for a staggered stop motion, win line highlight with a flashing border, and use CSS variables for a light or dark theme. Uh, Here are the core features that make it feel like a real slot machine. The real spin uses the keyframes rule. A staggered stop motion happens because of the animation delay. When you win, a flashing border highlights the pay line. And finally, there's a pure CSS light or dark theme using variables and prefers color scheme. All of these combine to create smooth, believable motion without a single line of JavaScript. All right, how it works. Hidden checkboxes manage all game states. Sibling selectors trigger CSS animations. The message bar updates automatically via CSS and no JavaScript or inline styles. So yeah, our demo sequence follows the rigged realistic pattern just like most slot machines in real life. The first spin always lands on a loss, the second one also loses, and the third finally gives you a win. We did this to show all motion states, the spin, the staggered stop, the losing feedback, and then the full win celebration with glow and confetti. All right, motion and keyframes. Would you take over, Steven?
For motion systems and keyframes, our motion system is built on the variables real speed, real delay, wind pulse, and easing snap. These tokens keep timing consistent across animations. The keyframes control spin, stop, glow, and confetti. We also use a cubic berserk curve for a little bounce when the wheels settle, and everything prefers reduced motion so users prone to motion sickness can still interact comfortably. For visual polish makes it feel real. The pay line band in the middle anchors your attention. Each reel has a sheen, a reflection that moves while spinning and softens when it stops. Reels spin at slightly different speeds so it doesn't feel robotic, and a blur filter adds the illusion of fast motion. These small touches create depth and realism. For accessibility, we also focused on the structure uses semantic tags like header, main, and footer so screen readers understand it. All toggles have label elements so they can be activated with a keyboard or a screen reader. The message bar uses an ARIA live region to announce state changes like you win, and we respect prefers reduced motion, so motion automatically tones down if the user prefers less animation. And then for our responsive layout, the layout uses a CSS grid for the overall structure and flexbox and side reels for alignment. The clamp function keeps symbol height and text readable on both large and small screens. Everything scales fluidly, no fixed pixel sizes. So it looks good on phones and desktop without media query overload. And Vince will take over for the last few slides.
Vincent?
I'm sorry. All right, let's talk about dual experience. My bad, I didn't notice I was muted. The sequence is intentionally rigid, like a real slot machine. We went with the sequence lose, lose, win, mainly because we couldn't simulate real randomization. So you'll see that in the, I guess the goal is that you weren't supposed to see it, but we went with the lose, lose, win situation because it lets us show all the states, the spin, the stop, and finally the celebration. When you hit spin, the real blur, and it rotates. As they stop left to right, the message bar updates, and when you win, you get a confetti animation and a glowing pay line. It's a small touch, but it makes it more promising and more rewarding when you win. You can go down to the stretch goals. Stretch goals. All right, so we had a few stretch goals to make it feel premium. We had a 3D rail illusion. We used a variable called rotate X, and we used perspective. We had a blur effect during the spin for motion realism. We had a reactive slot message that adjusts automatically depending on whichever state you were in, whether you were in like a lose state or a win state. And then again, we added a confetti animation just for aesthetics. And all of these were achieved only through CSS animation and variables. You can go on down to the next one. All right, so customization. Customization was quick because everything was running on CSS variables. For colors, we used variables like accent, accent2, BG for background, surface, text, wind glow. For motion, we use real speed, real delay, wind pulse, casting snap, blur amount, spin tilt. For layout, we use symbol, row H, real gap, real border, page padding, and all of these things you can tweak in the inspect element, and you can actually see how easy the customization was. And we made sure to use very easy and simple naming methodology, just so that we can, whenever we needed to go back to customize something, we knew exactly what we were customizing. All right, validation and testing. So we validated the HTML and CSS through the W3C validators, and we received no errors. It runs smoothly on Chrome, on Edge, and Firefox. We also tested how other modern selectors degrade gracefully in older browsers. The page structure is simple, or it has simple static files, so it loads instantly, even on slow connections. All right, so we had a couple of reflections just doing this project. This project taught us that motion isn't just decoration, it communicates state. The spin and stop sequence tells the player what's happening. The light and dark themes make it comfortable in any environment. Most importantly, it proves that CSS alone can handle very meaningful interactivity and responsive design if you think creatively about the states and selectors. Another thing that we noticed going through the project is that JavaScript, CSS and HTML alone cannot handle pure randomization, and that JavaScript would have definitely made this project a lot more easier. But but we learned all that while we were building the code. Um, and then I'm going to go into some code snippets down below just to show you a bit of the code. Um, and I might actually take over here. I might show my screen if I can. Just to,
All right. Give me 1 second.
now we included the code snippets in a PowerPoint, but I'm going to just show it from my point of view just because it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
Um, and then
Let's
hopefully
see.
this is captured in the.
Yeah. So I'll just stream it real quick. Oh,
Do you see it?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just took little pieces of code from our code and I kind of chopped it up and put it into like a PDF. What you're seeing right here on the left side is our file explorer. These are the files that make up the website. Because there's no true randomization for CSS, we elected to create a chain of web pages that link through the spin and spin again button. On the first two spins, you receive a better luck next time, but on the third spin, you win. That's where you see try one, HTML, try two, HTML, try three. I made sure to draw lines connecting them. Down at the bottom, you can see the links. Like we said in the PowerPoint, we disguised the spin again button to be a link to another web page, and it flowed very smoothly. You, you actually couldn't tell that you were being rerouted to another web page where you were spinning again. But right down here, you can see the links that lead you to the other web pages. You can see the text on it saying spin again, but the true link is try two or try three, and then when you get to try three, you win. This is another snippet. This is from our main page, or excuse me, this is from the machine, the slot machine. These are the icons. Uh, we put it in an unordered list and populated it with generic icons to create the three spinning reels. This is just a bunch of CSS. You have the features for the background, which we discussed in the PowerPoint or in the slideshow. We have motion settings for the reels. Like I mentioned in the other section, we have reel speed, reel delay. We set parameters to make it either stagger or spin at a certain speed. We have the code for the theme switching. You have the light mode and the darker mode, and those are triggered by buttons. You have the style settings for the light mode and the style settings for the dark mode. You also have the animations that control reel spin and stop. As you can see, there's some parameters put in there to stagger it a bit. And then we get into the confetti code, which was pretty hefty. As you can see, the confetti was created piece by piece, and then you have the animation for each piece. You have the various positioning and the motion that takes place. This is the HTML. It was created with a bunch of spans. And then you have the machine lose animation. And then there's another code for the win animation as well. But that's just what I wanted to show. I'm going to throw it back to Kip to show you the demo of it. Let me stop sharing.
All right, so time for the demo. So yeah, this is just an introduction page. This will not be part of the actual reel, but it's just to show you and explain our roles again on our web page. So yeah, upon clicking open slot UI, it will take us directly to the website. So we do have this feature, dark and light mode, and we do prefer the dark mode because it's easy, because it's easier on the eyes. But yeah, and we have a how to play section. It just tells you how to play. So you navigate to the try pages to experience a rig sequence, lose, lose, win. Each page has a fixed outcome. Use a spin or stop button to play. And this is just the techniques that we have used. We have already gone over these on the slides. And then the about section, it's also similar. So built with pure HTML plus CSS, demonstrates transforms, transitions, and keyframes for motion first UI. No JavaScript is used for interactions. Also, some of the things that we have gone over in the slides, and now, without further ado, we will go to the slots. And as you can see, well, they're all flowing upon clicking stop. That's our first spin, and we have lost. Better luck next time. So spin again and stop. And yeah,
If I
we
can
lost. Spin
interject
again.
really quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sakib. Just to interject really quickly, if you look up at the browser bar, you can see that we're on try to HTML.
Mm-hmm.
So we switch web pages in between spins, um, almost imperceptibly, without the user knowing.
Yeah, we do have 3 web pages. We have try 1, try 2, and try 3. So the first 2 tries, they are the fail sections. And then on the final one, as you can see, try 3. Let's see what happens. And we win. And there's the confetti. And that's our project for this assignment. Thank you all for joining. And this is us signing out.